This is such a big day for
Huge.
so many reasons. I just think about those families that are waiting for their family members to come home. Big day. But let's continue this conversation on the Israeli-Hamas peace deal and bring in former Deputy NSA to the VP Dick Cheney, National Security at Heritage Foundation Stephen Yates, and former Senior Advisor to Department of Homeland Security under Alejandro Mayorkas, retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Berney Flowers. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
So, Steve, we know with the hostages, they're set to be released sometime Monday, maybe hearing reports it could be today. This is clearly a historic moment. Would you call it the most significant in this first phase of what we've seen to be, really historic gains in ending this war in Israel?
I do think it's historic. I mean, it's unfathomable for anyone who has a child or a loved one to imagine 2 full years of not knowing about their health or security. Even getting final notice of their passing would be, to a degree, some level of comfort, even going through that horror. So I think the 2 top priorities President Trump has had from the outset and doggedly pursued is consistent with other areas: stop the killing and return all hostages. That's been hard work to get to this point. I think all credit is due to the work that was put in, the consistency to get to where we are.
Sure.
But we should also have no doubt that the stages that come after this are going to be a heavy, heavy challenge about what the post-war governance really is. Diminishment of Hamas so it can never, ever again do what happened on October 7th. And then that reconstruction and alternative path to peace and prosperity, those Arab allies in the broader Abraham Accords alliance is going to be a really, really important factor.
Such a good point. Colonel, what are your thoughts?
First of all, let's give our president his props. Absolutely. He has done something that is unprecedented. These folks are dug in at Hamas. Now, here's how I look at it. We have to back Israel. The issue of the day is that this is a temporary peace deal. Let's not just assume that everything is fixed. The president has done a fantastic job, but Hamas has shown that, they are very tough to be trusted. So a hostage release is the part of the deal that's most important. We're getting our people, we're getting the Israeli people back. We're getting back to where we can negotiate. So I think this is a great start, but don't think that this is over. We got a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah, very good point, Colonel. I also just want to add to that, where everyone is praising President Trump, and rightfully so. He deserves all the praise he can get for this. But we also have to praise the brave men and women of the IDF who have carried out this war and made this possible in the past 2 years. Because if they hadn't have completely destroyed Hamas and all the other Iranian proxies, we may not have been able to get to this position right now. But, Stephen, I also want to ask you about the exchange of the Palestinian prisoners who Israel is going to release. There's about 2,000 Palestinians who are going to be released all up, about 250 who are serving life sentences for murder or weapons production, and they're set to be the first that are going to be released. Do you have any concerns about that?
I think everyone should have concerns, but this is the tragic part of when you have a protracted war and there has been acts of terror. You're going to take up a lot of people when you're trying to engage in combat and try to stop those kinds of operations in an embedded urban environment. This is also, I think, partly a factor of people think of the disproportionate release of 20 remaining hostages, and exactly 0 should ever have been taken, but 20 in exchange for 1,000 or 2,000 others. That's a profound imbalance. And I think that some of our European, air quotes, allies deserve some pressure for their, I think, inappropriate interference in the closing stages of this deal.
Absolutely. No, and, for me, Colonel, obviously it's a concern that these folks are going to be back on the streets, but ultimately I think Israel's keeping an eye on them, and I think they better be very careful and tread very lightly. But what do you think this does, for about 30 seconds, what do you think this does for future prisoner swaps? Does it set some type of precedence, and what does it mean in the light of, things moving forward?
Well, I don't know that we have a different path. I mean, bottom line is I hate war. I mean, I've been there, I've done that. I know how it feels. But we have to be willing to have the threat of putting boots on the ground, unfortunately. No, I don't want to see that. But a peace deal without teeth will never work. And these people at Hamas are very, very dug in. So the issue of the day is that we just need to be prepared and get behind our president and trust that he knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Such a good point. Colonel, we appreciate you being on. Thank you so much as well. We appreciate you as well, Steve. Thanks so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.